I'm going to share my opening screen, and Ed has got us covered. Welcome to the June 11th District 57 District Executive Committee meeting, the last one of this year, 2021-2022. I'm so glad you could all make it. Glad to see you. We're going to have a good time today. First, just a reminder, the district mission: we build new clubs and we support all clubs in achieving excellence. Both of those things. If you haven't yet, please rename yourself in Zoom to include your role. Yes, we know most of you now, but please do so just to make it good for everyone. Example model. Here's what we're going to do today. So, like every DECM, we do have some information for you, some new information. This is last minute. Some of it is roll up what we did. And then we're going to devote quite a bit of today's meeting to recognizing accomplishments and talking about what is coming next. And speaking of accomplishments and what's coming next, oh, just a moment. Club visits. Okay, if you haven't, area directors and division directors, pass the word on. If you haven't done your club visit reports, please do it. There was an outage on the website. I know that it was down for a while and you couldn't do it. Remember, it was originally due on May 31st. Because of the website issues, they extended it to June 15th. So you still have 4 more days. If you're just got a little bit of procrastinator in your blood, you can still get it done. Please, please, please get those area director visits in. All right. Ed, I'm going to turn it over to Gary actually now. So Gary McKenzie has been working tirelessly to start a District 57 Speakers Bureau. The district used to have one long ago. It fell into disrepair and went away. But we have it, and Gary and his team have been working on it now, and it's ready to go, and they are talking to people around the district about what it is, why they might want to be involved. So I'm going to stop my share and turn it over to Gary McKenzie to tell us about the District 57 Speakers Bureau. Gary, take it away.
Hey, thank you so much, George. Many of you may be wondering, why Speakers Bureau? How will a Speakers Bureau strengthen District 57? When I think about that, 3 answers come to my mind. First, prestige for the district. Second, increase in membership. And of course, third, member fulfillment and growth. When you think about prestige, are you aware within Toastmasters International, there's 124 districts, yet only a handful of those districts actually have a functioning Speakers Bureau. Who knows? When I'm thinking about this, District 57 might even receive recognition at the International Convention for having a Speakers Bureau. Wouldn't that be outstanding? So then thinking about the increase in membership, in order to even apply to the Speakers Bureau, the applicant must be a member in good standing of a club within District 57. Since Zoom gives District 57 a worldwide reach, we're going to be able to attract members well beyond the geographic boundaries of 57. The Speakers Bureau will also serve as a member retention tool. Since to be in the Speakers Bureau, one must continue to be a member of the club in District 57. And we think about member fulfillment. Most individuals join Toastmasters to do what? To improve their public speaking and presentation skills. However, after a while, some individuals begin to feel they would like the experience of speaking outside of their home club. They kind of say, we're familiar with the people, we're familiar with the evaluations, we'd like a different experience. For those individuals looking for that opportunity to speak outside of their club, the Speakers Bureau is going to open doors to opportunity to speak at other clubs in the district. And the cool part, outside of the district. The speakers that qualify as members of the Speakers Bureau will have their topic and contact information displayed in the Speakers Bureau website. So if someone from an outside club is going to our website, they're looking for a speaker, maybe on a certain topic or someone that's available at a specific time of day or week, they can go to the, do a search, and all that information will come up. So it's going to be easy to find individuals that are in the Speakers Bureau. Now I know you're thinking, this Speakers Bureau sounds interesting. How can I apply to be a member of the Speakers Bureau? Great question. Well, first, you have to be a member in District 57, which shouldn't be a problem for any of you. And next, you go to District 57's website, and there you'll find the link to the Speakers Bureau and a link to the application page. And there's 3 items you're going to need to submit with your application. Number 1, a current professional headshot. You know, one that still looks like you, one that's not more than maybe 2 years old. Oh, and number 2, a speaker one sheet. And for individuals that aren't familiar with the speaker's one sheet, we have a frequently asked section of questions that people can go to. And there we have a sample of a speaker's one sheet that you can follow to create your one sheet. And of course, this is the big one. Number 3, a 5 to 7 minute unedited video of you giving a contest quality speech. You know, the video needs to be, again, not more than 2 years old. And since we've all been on Zoom for 2 years, we should have videos readily available. You know, again, the length of the video, it needs to be 5 to 7 minutes. If it's 7 minutes and 30 seconds, you know, you're still good. That fits within Toastmasters timing. But if you go over that, you know, that video doesn't meet the qualifications. So length is just a big issue. And when we say unedited, many times your videos, you know, the first part and this part's going to be okay to edit. The part that says, with the speaker saying, can you see me? Can you hear me? Can you see the timer? You know, edit that out. Let's just start off with you starting your speech. And you're going to cut it off when you return to the Toastmaster. So we just got that nice, simple, straightforward, 5 to 7, maybe 7 minutes and 30 seconds speech of giving us a speech, but don't edit the speech itself. We want to be able to show that we can all stand and speak for 7 minutes. Oh, you know, some of the things we're looking for in the video. One is eye contact. Be sure you're making eye contact with your camera. Practice that. It shouldn't be a problem for any of you. However, still practice making good eye contact with your camera. And we want your topic to be engaging. We want you to be engaging. Because after all, we're creating a world-class, this is our goal, world-class Speakers Bureau representing District 57. Also, good audio. Here again, we want to make sure that you have good audio in your video and good lighting. Pay attention to your lighting. And, oh, this one surprises me frequently, and maybe it surprises you. We need a nice, clean background. And we're looking for a vocal variety and gestures. So those are the key elements that we're looking for in your speech. Once we've received your information, the team members will independently review your information based on our evaluation criteria. You know, for Toastmasters, we're going to evaluate. We have evaluation criteria. Should an individual not meet the criteria, then we send them suggestions as to what they can do to improve their presentation. And we also have a resource page you can go to for resources. Now, before I close, you have time for some short, specific questions. And while you're thinking of your questions, I assume you may have one or two, I want to answer one question that frequently comes up, and that is there a limit to the number of speakers we'll have in the Speakers Bureau? And the answer is no. It's more the merrier. So the more speakers we have, great. So there's no limit on the number of individuals that we're going to present as members of the Speakers Bureau, as long as you continue to pay your dues and maintain your membership in 57. So if there are any questions, glad to entertain those at this time.
Hi, this is Subhash Kale.
Yes.
How do you request speakers from Speakers Bureau for some struggling clubs who need to have guest speakers? How do they request speakers from Speakers Bureau?
Okay. When you go into our Speakers Bureau webpage, there's going to be a place there where you can request the speaker. And when you do that speaker's request, you'll be presented with our list of speakers. And then you can do a search. If you're searching by topic, you can do a search to get their topic. So that's how you would do that. And also the speakers have listed the days and the times that they're available. So when you go there, you'll see the speaker, you'll see their photo, information about their topic, and when they're available. And then you would contact them directly. So that's how you would recruit them for a guest speaker or a target speaker.
Great, Gary, I have a question. This is Cynthia.
Yes. Hi, Cynthia.
That was my same question. Thank you, Subhash. And I want to take it a little bit further. So we can send the link to the website to Toastmasters around the world, and they can sign up to have them speak at their Toastmasters club, not be a speaker, but to request a speaker.
Yes, absolutely.
Can we also send it to other people who want speakers, like associations, like Lions clubs, Rotary clubs, etc., or is it not open to them yet?
Yeah. Thank you for that question. Yes, it is open to outside organizations. There's no fee. We do not charge a fee, but organizations like Rotary and Kiwanis and Lions and Sir Optimus and any organization that's looking for a speaker, absolutely make the referral.
Could we send it to corporations as well, or is that a different situation?
You know, I don't see why not. Why not if a corporation is looking for a speaker to come in? Again, these aren't paid. These are non-paid speakers.
Non-paid,
Yeah,
right.
non-paid.
But then they can always hire them as a speaker after.
Yes. Yes.
I would think
Oh,
so,
thank
yes.
you, Joan.
That goes beyond our Toastmasters, but yes, that would be between the Toastmaster and the speaker in that organization. But initially, these are non-paid speeches.
And so these speeches, if they're not with Toastmasters, if they're non-paid, but outside of Toastmasters, if you have certain criteria, you can also get credit towards your accredited speaker.
Well,
designation.
can I just answer that really
Sure.
quick?
Please,
Because I'm Joanne Bradley, and I work with Gary. I'm the co-chair for the Speakers Bureau. One of the things that we have done is we have a social media page, and it is on LinkedIn. That being said, most of us know LinkedIn isn't exclusively Toastmasters. It's open to all kinds of businesses and organizations. And you brought up a great point, Cynthia. The Accredited Speakers Bureau requires you to have paid speaking gigs. Within Toastmasters, of course, there's no fee. But Toastmasters,
most of them are non-paid. There's only like 7 that are required to be paid for the accredited speaker.
No. I understand that. But what I'm saying is within Toastmasters, of course, we don't charge clubs in the district and anything like that fees. Outside of Toastmasters, you know, I would imagine that, you know, if an organization contacted a speaker and there was a fee involved, that would be beneficial for the speaker, especially in working toward the accredited speaking program, because that is one specific program that is not often talked about. We talk about the DTM a lot, but Toastmasters does have an accredited speaking program. And this is a great opportunity for those of us that have DTMs, or even those of us that don't have a DTM but would like to work toward an accredited speaking program, to take advantage of this. So I'm going to say to everyone that's interested, apply.
Okay, thank you. And in being
Let's get some other
respectful of
questions. Yeah.
everyone's time, let me just say, the way you can help promote the Speakers Bureau is please promote it to your district, promote it to your clubs, and encourage them to get involved. So with that, we return control of this meeting back to George. And George, thank you.
Gary, you've got a couple more minutes, and we have Elliot and Deborah that would like to ask a question. So let's see if we can get their questions in real quick.
Perfect. Absolutely. Please ask your question.
Elliot, please.
Okay, thank you. Good morning. Thank you for putting this together. I noticed that there's 4 speakers right now. I'm just wondering, are you, obviously it's coordinated with people's availability, or are these speaker bureau, are these speakers open as much as possible, or what is the commitment for someone who is on Speakers Bureau? Would they want to say, I want to speak twice a month only, or so what can we tell people that might be interested in applying? That's really what I'm asking.
Okay, yeah. There is no requirement that you be available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's really based on your availability. So if you only want to speak twice a month and you're only available on Saturday mornings, perfect. You list that, and that way when people are searching, they find that and say, oh, there's a Saturday morning speaker, let's connect with him. So absolutely. And we ask you to put down your time zone also, since this is international.
All right.
And the other question?
Deborah. Unmute, Deborah.
So can the topics, speaking topics, be to promote Toastmasters, to promote your business, to promote yourself? Can there be any topics?
Any topic that you feel is of interest, absolutely. And use Toastmasters guidelines. Toastmasters has guidelines of what are appropriate topics. I would think that would give you a good guideline as to what to list.
Okay.
Because there are some topics that you might not want to put down.
Okay. Thank you, Gary. We're about out of time. I just want to say it's in everyone's interest, the district, everyone else, to have this going. The thing is, of all the reasons Gary mentioned, I think opportunity for the member growth and member benefit is one of the great ones. Now, from a Toastmasters point of view, it would be great if some of the speakers would be prepared to talk about Toastmasters, to go out to groups that want to talk about, but they are in no way limited to that. As I think you've already alluded to, you can imagine situations where a person from Speakers Bureau was engaged on the terms we have to use, and the organization likes their work so much they want to invite them back for a paid gig. That's great. That's great for everyone. It's just that initial one that's put together by the Speakers Bureau that we Toastmasters gives us rules on. We have a lot of people put some great links in the chat, including Gary's contact and the Speakers Bureau contact. We're gonna have to go on to the next one, but if you are even the slightest bit intrigued, contact Gary or Joanne and follow up. See what you can do, okay? Great. Thank you, Gary, and thank you, Joanne, for being here.
Thank you.
You're welcome to stay for the entire thing, or if you've got a speaking engagement to go to, you can do that. Let's see. All right, now we are going to go on to Ed Cullen, Club Growth Director. Ed, what you got for us?
What is a club growth director, and why might you want to be one? What does he do, he or she do? Well, a club growth director is responsible for all aspects of marketing, club building, member and club retention. Can you go to the next slide, please? Developing new markets, outreach, delving into the world, because who doesn't need to be a Toastmaster? We build new clubs and support all clubs in achieving excellence. Building new clubs is a major part of the role. How did I do? Not as well as I would have liked. I would have liked to have a cake every single DECM and support the new clubs. What are we doing now? We're doing a number of kickoff meetings. So next year is going to be a very rich year, we think. Took us a while. How do we stand in terms of the rest of the region? We're directly in the middle of the pack in club growth, meaning we've had a hard time. All nine of the districts in Region 1 have had a hard time, and we're in the middle of the pack, even though it seems like we're treading water. Why would you want to do this? It has been a fabulous year of growth for me. I'm not a particularly good closer, and it's taught me that, and it's given me skills like so many other roles in Toastmasters. Find a role and take that role. Later, I'll be talking about my new role and a number of opportunities for the people in this room. Can you serve 2 successive terms? No, it's just like being a club president. You cannot be reelected to club growth director. We have a fabulous incoming club growth director, and we'll talk about her later in this meeting. I said that part of this role is member and club retention. And to help with that, a fabulous tool in helping with that is our open house program. And it is my exquisite pleasure to introduce the woman who wrote the book on open houses, the article in the Toastmasters magazine, the Excel spreadsheet you can get on d57tm.org, Lindy Sinclair. Lindy. Oh dear, unmute, please. Shoot, we've lost Lindy.
Oh, no.
No.
Okay, who
Well,
lost Lindy?
Well, let me scroll
Well,
and
we'll pick our stuff up later?
sounds good. Thank you.
All right.
Back to you, George.
Okay, thank you. Next on agenda is Carolyn Douglas and her current role of Program Quality Director. Carolyn, take it away, please.
Thank you so much. Please go to the next slide. First and foremost, I want to say thank you to everyone who has participated in the program quality program throughout this entire year. That means that if you said hi to me, thank you so much for participating. If you answered my call, thank you so much. I appreciate it. So what I want to tell you about is what have we done over this Toastmaster year? Remember now, the program quality program has to do with our education as well as the events that we have. We started out the year with George immediately saying to us, and we actually implemented in June of last year, area and division directors trainings. So we had that training, but there was also an idea that was placed in place for us to do continuous area and division director training by way of the DECM. So whenever we found that we had an opportunity to incorporate additional training for area and division directors, we put that information there. We also implemented the Train the Trainer program, in which Ashley Harkness served as the chairperson for that, brought in amazing speakers who shared with us what it's like to move from being a speaker to a trainer, and then showed how to do the portion of training because it involves exercises. We actually had 61 participants enrolled and participating in that particular session. One of the ideas that we have for this district is once you have taken on and completed your Train the Trainer, you become available to serve as a trainer here within the district or elsewhere. But we would love for you to honor the investment that has been placed in you to give back into the district. We had 2 Toastmasters Leadership Institutes, both were 4.5 hours. They were amazing and we really enjoyed them. We actually had 6 club officer makeup trainings and each one was about 2.5 hours. I want to give kudos to every one of the division directors because all 9 division directors participated 100% in facilitating the club officer makeup trainings. And it makes it a very good thing for us to do, to have more involvement than to have one person trying to do everything. We also brought in preparation for doing the contest, not only for club, but area, divisions, as well as the district. We had 2 sections around that. And when we received the new PDF form on how area directors can use this form to set the tone and gather information for their club visit reports, we had trainings on that, such that it helped our area directors to be prepared and actually do the club visits. Next slide, please. Events. Oh, big ones. We presented the district international speech contest as well as the speech evaluation contest, and they were phenomenal. I have to say thank you to everyone. Remember my tagline, it takes a village. And believe you me, for both of those, we had to have a village. And we were able to identify first, second, and third place winners in each one of the contests. I want to once again thank everybody who participated, from the ballot counters, the timers, just the judges, everyone. And we have to say big kudos to our district judge, Hans Thoma. You know, we can always turn to Hans to ask a question and expect an answer. If he didn't have an immediate answer, he would get an answer back to us. So let's go on to the next slide. Kudos to everyone that participated there. We also had, for our club quality, some incentives in place because we wanted to do what we felt we could do to help move ourselves in being distinguished as a district or beyond. So the first incentive that we had was club officer training. 7 out of 7 club officers trained, and that incentive was $50. In our first training period, we had 16 of our clubs that met that, and then in the second period of training, we had 12. We also had, as a second incentive, the club success plans, and that was a $25 incentive. I am really happy to report that 51 clubs actually submitted the club success plan, and they were very open and willing and bought into, once they have a plan, follow that plan, they're likely to be much more successful. We also had a new one, Moments of Truth, which was a $25 incentive. And through the Moments of Truth, we were asking you, look at the current status of your club. What is the impression that, yes, receive when they come to your club meeting, as well as to identify what the club meeting experience is like. And 22 of you actually completed the moments of truth and submitted your results. I am looking forward to those 3 continuing to be, but there will be another one that I would love to see us add to the club quality and incentives area. Let's go on to the next slide. Here's some big messages. If you have accumulated district bucks, please spend them now. Your club is in a use or lose status with your district bucks. District bucks have a time limit on them. If you earn them in this year, they must be spent no later than 7/31/2022 of this year. That's the first big message. The second big message is if you have items that you want to, that you've purchased, you have receipts, and you want to request reimbursement for those things, we invite you to submit through Concur your reimbursement request as soon as possible, but no later than 7/31/2022. Now, I know some of you will probably say, Carolyn, we're planning to do open houses even to the end of this year. We gave you extra time there. Get that open house done, submit everything to Lindy as soon as possible, and submit your request for reimbursement or your incentive prize by 7/31/2027. One of the events I'd left out was we had a wonderful spring conference. Oh my goodness, I enjoyed myself. I wasn't able to stay in each session as much as I wanted to, but I really enjoyed every one of the sessions that I participated in. Here was the newness that we brought for the spring conference. We used the HOVA platform for the first time. And I must report one of the reasons why we use that is because what we have experienced when we've had to use multiple Zoom links is somebody would get dropped out and we had no idea why they got dropped out. But through the HOVA platform, none of that happened. We did not have any drops. And it allowed us to actually experience a community feel as we were participating in the various events within the spring conference. So we're likely to do that again. So that is the completion. Do I have another slide there? I believe that's the completion. Oh, for that at the end of the year, what is our great success? District 57 has been identified as having the most distinguished clubs in our region, according to our outgoing regional advisor, Mark Lucas. Yay, yay, yay. Congratulate yourself, pat your chest, pat your back. You have done amazingly. Thank you for helping us with the club quality. It's you, it's all you, and we're riding on your coattails. Thank you so much. Back to you, George.
All right, thank you. Fantastic. Let's jump backwards on the schedule here. We skipped over Lindy and open houses, so I'm going to jump back to that so that Lindy can present her material. Go ahead, Lindy.
Thank you, George. And my apologies, everybody. My computer decided to do something weird just as I was about to come on. So let's go to the next slide, please, George. The open house results for the year to date. We're 11 months through our fiscal year. We've had 87 open houses, which averages out to 8 a month. Well done, everybody. And through those open houses, we have 206 new members in the district, which translates to 19 averaging a month. So well done, all the clubs who did that. Clubs with open houses averaged 6 new members per club, 25% higher than clubs that did not have open houses. So let's go to the next slide, please. For the district as a whole, 37 clubs had those 87 open houses, which is 26% of the clubs in our district. And that means that 103 clubs had no open houses. I don't understand it. It seems to me as though we're offering these great incentives, and anyway, open houses are fun and a great marketing tool. I don't understand why nearly 3/4 of the clubs in the district have not chosen to have an open house, but there's still a few weeks left in the year. So please, everybody, get to your clubs, tell them, have open houses. There are incentives and the incentives are great. So just a quick reminder, $40 for having an open house that has 3 guests, $10 if any of those guests become a member within 30 days of the open house, and a $100 bonus for the club that has the most new members through open houses. Back to you, George, unless there are any questions.
Any questions for Lindy?
I think I saw one. from
Elliot.
Yes, from a club that had 5 attempted open houses and only 2 were guests showed up. I'm just curious to know, what was your like all-star club that maybe off the top of your head, maybe there's others, that like had like 8 open houses or something, like an open house
I'm
month?
actually unwilling to say that's, I know who it is, and I will be announcing that at the installation on July 30th.
Okay,
But I think they know who they are because they have had, that club has had 8 new members through open houses.
we want their manual. That's all I'm saying.
Yes, well, you'll have it after July then. Any other questions?
I have a quick question. Are you counting clubs that took part only in the incentive program? Or are you counting all clubs that gave an open house?
Okay, if they didn't send me their information about an open house, there's no way I would know they had an open house.
Okay.
Yes.
So there's a possibility that there's some clubs that participated and had open houses, but didn't partake in the incentive program.
That's possible, but it makes no sense to me because if they did the work and didn't want to get the reward, I don't understand that.
If they didn't meet the criteria, then they wouldn't send it in. So, you know, that's what I mean.
Oh, if
Yeah.
they didn't have eligible open houses,
Yeah.
right? Yes, it's
Yeah.
possible they had open houses, but didn't have enough guests for it to be eligible. Sure, that's possible.
Okay, one more question. Any? So I echo what Lindy said. This is an example of the district getting directly involved in helping clubs build membership. There's always someone that says, complain. Why are you working on new clubs? What are you doing for my club? This is what we're doing. A club is best served if it holds an open house, using, by the way, the criteria that is in our list. And if you do, we provide you financial incentives. Like it's to your benefit anyway. But if you go ahead and do it, then hey, we're going to reward you. It works. It really does work. I bet you anything that it'll be kept up next year. So clubs that haven't done it, take a look. Honestly, it works. And yes, I think probably next year the team ought to encourage a few clubs that are really, really good at doing open houses to share how they did it.
George, there is actually something I wanted to add. I'd forgotten. Do I have another minute?
One more minute, yes.
Thank you. So I'm getting a lot of questions about the concur part of it. And I want to remind the clubs that once they have earned the money, they can spend it. It's only the reimbursement part that goes through concur. So there's no need to hold off spending that money. Whatever your club, please go ahead and use the money, and just know that you won't get reimbursed until it's on the district website. But you know that you've earned it because you will get a congratulatory email from me telling you you've earned it.
Thank you.
And
Thank
actually
you.
now the district website is absolutely up to date. So everything that I know is on there too.
Okay, we're going to need to move on here. Next up, we've done a little bit of rearranging, but next up is our Public Relations Manager, Nancy Muscardini. Nancy, what do you got for us?
We always have fun things going on at PR. George, welcome everyone. Next slide, please. As we wrap up this year in PR, We did a big wrap up at the last session, but just to let you know what's going to happen the next 30 days. The June 15th, that's the last newsletter I'm creating for us. So please get your submissions in by the noon on June 15th, because we'll be working on it that evening. Get it out right away because we have a lot of events coming up. We have TLI, July 16th, and the year-end celebration, installation new officers. And as you know, we do have a tab on the main website under public relations. I highly recommend check it out. We have leadership spotlight articles from Linda Patton. We have pre-made ads for you. And you know, the running joke, take my job, please. Yes, I want you all to contact your VP PRs and tell them, hey, I want to be the District 57 Public Relations Manager. Why? Because it's fun. 2, I made job aids and templates that will make your life so much easier. And I gave them all to Carolyn and George this morning. So that way you don't have to worry about figuring out how to create a post on the website. It's got a template in PowerPoint, done in 30 seconds, ready to go. I think that's it for my slides. I don't think there's another one, George.
All right,
But that's
thank
it.
you.
Thank you so much. It was
Thank you,
great here.
Nancy. All right. Now, let's go on to finance. You know, Toastmaster runs on volunteers, but it also takes money to make it work. So, Michelle, please come on board and tell us where we are in finances.
All right. Well, want to say hi to my folks in District or Division E, Area 30, Leaders Worldwide. Hello. All right, let's move on. So once George changes the slide, we're going to be looking at last month's, which was basically March 2020's report, because April report is still is pending right now. So I wanted to at least share with you all something before we move on. Quick review on what's going on for the past 9 months. I know you've probably seen this last month, but again, just want to at least give you an update on what is going on in regards to what we actually had either brought in, which is the revenue, which we all know is probably more than 42 grand due to the membership that was being submitted by April 1st. So I'm sure we got plenty of money back from that. And of course, our expenses as of as of March was a little over 32 grand. We all know that may increase as well because preparation for the spring conference. So I just wanted to at least give you some sense there are going to be changes to the actuals coming up in April. So in regards to April, we had, or excuse me, back to May, we had our spring conference. And during the spring conference, during my time as the finance manager report, I had mentioned, and if you guys weren't there, I can, always remind you that the district had some fraudulent activity in the district's bank account where we lost, and I'll give you the grand total, 15 grand. Yes, $15,000 of fraudulent activity was taken out of our account. So I did report, and again, this was mentioned during the spring conference, that this particular activity was reported to Toastmasters International Finance Team, the trio itself, and of course, the bank that we had the money in. So there have been investigations going on with this, with the bank, and I've been reporting this information to the trio and also to the Toastmasters International Finance Team. As of now, the bank had said that because of the fraudulent activity, what type of fraudulent activity, which basically was wire transfers from our bank account to whomever took the money, there's a possibility that we may not get that money back. So we are going to work with the Toastmasters International Finance Team to see if we can try to get that money back as much as possible, because it doesn't make sense. We all should be, insured through the FDIC in regards to whatever money that we have in there, regards to $15,000, $15. But I just want to be very, very transparent to the district and letting you know what's going on. Everybody in the trio knows, even the future trio knows what's going on. So whatever investigation or anything else is going to be happening will be discussed into the new trio this coming year, in addition to the finance manager. So everybody in everybody that's involved in the district and also in Toastmasters International is aware of this situation. So I just want to be very transparent and let you all know what's going on. So by this time next month, we should probably have a full report on what is going to happen and what next steps are, in addition to your district profit and loss report. Okay, so I just wanted to at least give you all that information. All right. Next slide. Oh, the Bank of the West is the bank that we hold our money. Okay, somebody asked that question. All right, so you've probably seen this message, maybe what, 10, 15 minutes ago with Carolyn? This is very, very, very important. I highly recommend you take your phone and take a picture of this slide, because we are very adamant about getting your district bucks and your expense reports in. Because the next financial manager and our district director will be very, very vigilant on this specific date. So Carolyn, our new district director, is saying that if you accumulate district bucks this year between now and June 30th, please, please, please spend it now. However, she's giving you a whole month by end of July to make sure it's done, okay? One point that I should put on this slide, that when the next fiscal year starts, which is July 1st, your district bucks account will be 0. That means that whatever money that you have in your district bucks right now, please spend between now and July 31st, 2022. But when you start earning, starting July 1st, it will be 0, okay? So please, 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 like she is suggesting, like Lindy had just said, if you earn incentives such as open houses, please make sure that you submit the information and you have an access to Concur, whoever that is in your club. Make sure that they have a bit of credentials to go ahead and submit expense reports to get that money. So I strongly encourage you to take a picture of this slide. Don't wait until the recording is done. Put it in your calendar, put it on your phone, whatever, that, hey, July 31st, 2022 would be the latest day that you can go ahead and use your district bucks. The district bucks, can I share my screen real quick?
Sure.
I want
just a second.
Okay, I want to show everybody the district bucks spreadsheet. All right, let's see. Hold on, share. Oh, still says disable.
Ed, can you help us here?
I was fixing it, but I was also on mute.
Okay.
It should work now.
Okay, hold on. There we go, yay. All right. This is the latest and greatest. There may be some changes that I have to make because there are some people who did submit their expense report, and I need to know if they were finally approved by me, George, and Toastmasters, and I'll update. But you see this column C. This is in this in our District 57 website. Everybody has access to this. So in column C, this is where it shows the amount that you have in your club to spend. Okay, so this column right here says running total. It will show you how much you have to spend between now and, like Carolyn said, July 31st, 2022. So some of you have a few dollars in there that you will want to go ahead and start to use that money. So I would say figure it out between now and then and start making some money, or start spending some money, excuse me. So I just wanted to at least let you guys know that this is available to you all, and I can put this, and I'll stop sharing. And I can go ahead and put this in the chat so you have access to go ahead and look at it. But other than that, it's been a pleasure helping you all out this year. I'm sure some of it was challenging for you, but some of you all seemed like you understood some of the finances that were going on this year, and it was a pleasure providing service. Any questions?
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
For the division directors, I know there was a budget for $100 for each division. And how do we collect funds? Because I spent almost $100 sending medal awards to winners of area contests and division contests. And that wasn't from the club, that was out of my pocket. So what I'm trying to find out is how do I collect funds that were allotted to the division directors? And I understand that each division had a certain amount of money. How would I collect that?
Through Concur. I see your face expression.
Can I
And-
add something that Joanne would need to set up her own account? It wouldn't be
That
the
is
club's
correct.
account.
You are correct,
at
Linda.
Concur.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it would be your account you set up because this is coming out of your pocket, your division.
Mhm.
I had a couple of other division directors who did the same thing and they got their money.
Okay.
So this is not a district situation. This is a Toastmasters
Yeah,
International.
I realized that later.
So yeah, just, email me your name, email address, and your member ID. I'll forward it on to Toastmasters. They'll set it up and email you the information. Hopefully I answer your question.
You've got two more raised hands.
Go ahead.
Elliot and Tyree.
Go ahead. Who's next?
I'm gonna have Tyree go first because he might have a better question than me, but no.
Yeah. Actually, first, I want to thank you, Michelle, for doing an excellent job and particularly handling this. In all my experience with Toastmasters, it's very rare that you have that level of fraud. And I appreciate you being straightforward with us on that. My question really comes to something that Carolyn had brought up. When I look at the budget and I know it, or I look at our income statement, and I know things will change as we get to find. But I think I would like us to consider increasing some of those incentives, particularly the club officer training, because there is a direct correlation to the number of officers trained to the quality of the distinguished clubs that are there. So seeing that it looks like we are well under budget for the incoming trio to really look at being strategic about increasing some of those incentives.
Well, thank you for your ideas on that, Tyree. I will make sure that the next trio will consider that because the whole trio basically drafts the next budget. However, there are some things that we have to follow through Toastmasters. So that could be the reason why there's maybe some items that be under budget where some things are maybe over. But there are some criteria that we do have to follow through Toastmasters when it comes to the budget. But I'm sure it's duly noted. Thank you.
I would like to comment on that. Tyree, we had a large number of clubs that actually got 6 club officers trained. They just didn't push it over to that last one.
There you go.
So I agree with you. There were a lot of clubs with
Offer
6
them more
club
money.
Tyree, why don't you roll your thoughts up into an email and send it to the incoming trio, since as you know, next year's trio is the one that makes that choice.
Okay, I see one more hand. Was it?
Okay, Elliot.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. Okay, actually coming back to that point, and I will guarantee, having helped Carolyn, that those numbers for officers were triple verified.
Yeah, they were.
Yes. Now, because we all had questions too. Anyway, the first question I have, Michelle, is a simple one. The document you just shared the link with us, it is not accessible. You need to view, you need to share so that people with the link can view. That's the easy one. Now, so here's the next one though. Ready for the Wizard of Oz question? So you're saying that that it's not necessarily, correct me if I'm wrong, that's why I'm asking the question. It's not necessarily because you need to end the fiscal year by closing the books on District 57 bucks. And I know this sounds contentious. I'm just trying to clarify because I have a number of people have problems. That actually by extending it to July 31st, you're saying that it is a District 57 goal as opposed to a fiscal responsibility fiduciary type of thing. Is that correct?
When you mean as far as getting your district bucks for this year?
Spending them before June 30th, but now to July 31st. The question is this just our goal as opposed to like a fiscal, like closing the books type thing?
Let me take that one. Let me take
Okay,
that
go
one.
ahead.
Thank you. Because
Every
I think
year,
people, I want to have a definitive answer on this because people have argued with me about that type of point. So,
every year's budget is separate. Toastmasters Finance Department forces us to close out the books every year.
okay, that's why I
Now,
want
we
to.
get a little bit of slack, and that they're trying to, I think Michelle is obligated to turn in the audit committee for the end of the year by July 15th or somewhere around like that. So we are obligated to close out the books. They do have some provisions for accruing things back to the previous year, even though you don't actually write the checks or do the concur until sometime in July. But we are directly under edict from Toastmasters to close out there. That's why we can't let district bucks run forever. Those are budgeted each year. And it's, as Carolyn said, it's use it or lose it.
Right. And I understand that from a school finance point, having argued with this.
Okay, Michelle, you want to add something, anything to that?
Yeah, so somebody wanted me to explain about the district bucks being zeroed out starting July 1st and then getting district bucks submitted, or excuse me, expense report submitted by July 31st. Okay. So the July 31st, 2022 date is for people to spend the district bucks that is currently listed. Okay. So whatever you have available in your district bucks list, spend it between now and July 31st. However, July 1st means that you need to start earning money for the next fiscal year, meaning that everybody starts with 0 for next year's district bucks. So the district buck money that you have now will not be carried over to next year. So anything that you need to start earning money for next year starts July 1st, okay? And I'm sure we can probably explain it more in the next DECA meeting or whenever we need to, but just wanted to clarify that. That's it. Thank you.
Yeah, I think there's a misunderstanding. You didn't mean that the spreadsheet will have zeros in it on July 1st. It's just go on. Okay, last questions, then we'll go on to break.
George, there are a couple of questions about the spreadsheet. And my tired song is go to d57tm.org, pull down the incentives, and then
Clubs, it's under clubs.
spreadsheet.
Go to clubs and then incentives are under clubs, yes.
And incentives are under clubs. And then there is a link to the spreadsheet. And while you're there at d57tm.org, you might have some other fun stuff to look at. So that's how you get to the spreadsheet while looking at other fun stuff. Back to you.
All right. Well, this is a more exciting finance section than we normally have, Michelle. You're in fine form today. All right, let's go ahead and take a break. We're running, it looks like we're running just a little bit ahead of schedule. It's 9:58 now, so 10:10. Let's reconvene at 10:10. See you then. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
So what we're going to do now is I'm going to turn it over to the new team that is going to talk to us about some of the things that are going to be happening in the first part of the year. And so first, our incoming trio, District Director is Carolyn Douglas, Program Quality Director is Ed Cullen, Club Growth Director is Sally Philbin. Yay! At this point, I'm going to turn it over to Carolyn to lead this section of the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And I have to say once again to all of you, thank you so much for electing us. We're here to be of service to you. And I thank you for the confidence and the trust that you've placed in us to do this. So could you move to the next slide, please. Each one of us will give you an idea of what's on our mind for next year. Before I get started with my section, I want to just remind people that we're still in the process of the International Speech Contest through the regional quarterfinals. We did submit our contest winner. It's my understanding from TI that the judging of the videos have begun, and they expect to make an announcement, if not at the very end of the month. An announcement will be made at the very beginning of July. So we're still in it, thank goodness. So we're looking for brand new leaders for this coming year. We have a vision that we want to go beyond distinguished. We have a vision of seeing that we're in new territory. Every one of our clubs has the potential for being an international club. We cannot get around that. Boundaries no longer matter. Many of us have not only visitors, but we actually have new club members that live in other countries. So what is it that we plan to do to ensure that we're continuing to grow our club memberships, create new clubs? All of that is before us, and all of that is what we're going to do during this year. We're looking for new leaders. Right now, you've already seen who our trio members are, but we also need to find the other functionaries that go along with the executive team. We're looking for a public relations manager and the team members that serve right along with the public relations manager. We're in the process of looking for area directors. We have some that have already identified themselves, but here is the deal. We also have many divisions who have not submitted one candidate to be a replacement for the area directors. We're looking for committee chairs. If you're interested in serving, once again, self-nominate yourself for any of the area director positions or committee chair positions, or if there's something new that is calling to be done and you feel that you are in a position where you can lead that or be a participant, let us know. Submit your application on the d57.org website and let us know that so that we can begin to take action on it. We would love to be able to put all of the team together and before you by July 1st when our new year began. Would you move to the next slide, please? The new appointments that we have for the executive team includes Linda Patton as our administrative manager, and she will probably do some logistics around that too. Tracy Stewart will become our finance manager. Tracy is an accounting professional. She is, I believe, a CPA. David Dye has consented to continue as our Zoom chief, and he will also extend himself to help us as our Google master. And Winnie Ma has agreed to be our awards chair. I believe Ed will be making another announcement a little bit later, but here's something that I want you to be aware of. I'm proposing a new committee for us, and it's called the Self-Care and Wellness Committee. And why do we want to have such a committee? Not long after we began this year, we had one area director who initially thought they would be able to fulfill the role, but once they got into it, and I believe this occurred within the first month, maybe the first 2 months, we had the area director to resign simply because her personal workload, along with the work that is required for being an area director, became overwhelming. Subsequent to that, we also lost a division director, and then we lost about 4 other area directors. This is a time in our life where we have to practice self-care and pay attention to wellness. When our people go silent on us, we don't know what's happening. We want to be able to have people who are within our own ranks to be able to make suggestions to us. So I'm proposing this new committee. I'm looking at a couple of clubs that I believe that could have some input into what this committee would be able to share with us. I'm looking at SEALS. SHIELDS is Blue Cross Blue Shield. I'm looking at Healthy Toast, California State of Public Health. I'm looking for them to be a participant, but I'm also looking at known professionals within our ranks that have the ability to tell us something about self-care. And with each one of our DECM meetings, we will have a 5 to 10 minute presentation on that. So these are some of the new things that I am proposing that we do. Will it be same old, same old? I think as we go along, there will be lots of familiarity, but we're also innovative and we're open to some new things. I'm going to pass this on to Ed now for him to share, and later he will pass this on to Sally for her to share. And from there, if time is left, we'll answer questions. Ed.
Thank you very much, Carolyn. Carolyn had a great vision and looked at the big picture. I'm going to take you to a small grain for a second. Successful clubs have a club success plan. Successful clubs have an executive committee meeting. Successful clubs train their officers, and from time to time do a moments of truth. You heard about all of these elements. Thank you, Tyree, for talking about club officer training. Thank you to Carolyn for talking about all those other things. We talked about those earlier because we incentivize that activity. And why do we incentivize it? Because that is the core of delivering something worthwhile to our individual members. Every member deserves to be in a distinguished club. And it isn't difficult to distinguish your club if you have a club success plan, executive committee meetings, do a moments of truth every once in a while, and of course, pay attention to the other things we incentivize. The open houses are going to be under Sally this term, but membership building, because as I said earlier, doesn't everyone need to belong to a Toastmasters club? So focusing on the member, we are going to do a wonderful job this coming year. And as Carolyn also hinted, I have a number of wonderful, wonderful chair positions. We need a conference chair. We need to know if the chief judge is going to continue, or if we need a new chief judge. We've got Mercy reprising her role as HPL DTM chair. Carolyn has gotten us an OATM chair. We need a the training guru, either the one we have or someone new. Masterclass chair would be wonderful. We used to do a lot of terrific YouTubes. We can do that again. Very helpful for individual members. I was once Speechcraft chair. That is a fabulous position. We have a terrific YLP chair this year. We'll find out if she's continuing. I would like to reinstitute something along the lines of Pathways Guide, Pathways Ambassador, because there is still wonderful things we haven't discovered. Well, we in this room haven't discovered, but individual members may not yet have discovered about Pathways. So a Pathways cheerleader. And there are a number of other roles. Bill Holesley will be here later to talk about being TLI Dean. The world is your oyster. There are wonderful, wonderful roles to be had. If you're interested, email me at ed@d57tm.org. And now it is a terrific pleasure to introduce Sally Philbin. Sally. You're on mute.
Yes, thank you. And can we put the slides back up, please? All right, thank you so much. Taking off on Carolyn's thought, it takes a village. It does take a village. And so my first step in tackling this club growth director job is to parse it out, make it so that it's more bite-sized, so that we can get our arms around it. So no one person feels overwhelmed with just too much to do. The other thing that I was focusing on as I thought about how to structure this job was, what are the areas of importance? Why does the club growth director position exist? Oh, we say, you know, grow new clubs, grow excellence, but do we mean it? Do we put emphasis on it? I have divided things up so that we now have a club growth publicity resource chair. That's Elliot Rogers. That position is going to be the glue that binds us in this team. That Elliot will be making sure that all of the information that we have available for new club growth, for bringing clubs to excellence, is in one spot on our D57 website. And that link then will be made available to everybody. Every time we send an email, that's going to be in our signature bar, so that folks out in the district can readily find the information that they're looking for. Sometimes it's just knowing how to manage the website. And he's going to be writing articles about that in the monthly newsletter, and as well as coordinating with the other team members who are going to be looked to for writing articles. So the idea here for this position is to get the word out to rank and file Toastmasters so that everybody knows what's going on. Second, we have a club excellence chair, Lindy Sinclair. Lindy is going to be focused on growing clubs to excellence. This is where you'll find the club coach chair, the club ambassador chair. I'm getting ahead of myself, but I'm so excited about this new structure. And then we have the club extension chair. You know, I don't know where they came up with that title. That's the new club chair. That's what that is, club extension. It's the new club chair. Next slide, please. So I already talked this slide, what the club growth publicity resource chair is going to do. And Elliot Rogers could not jump fast enough to get on this job. I am so looking forward to this coming year. Thank you, Elliot. Next slide, please. Then we have the club excellence team. We have Lindy heading up that team, the club coach chair. You've heard her name before, Mercy Del Rosario. She came forward. I didn't even have to ask her. She came forward and said, I want to help. And this is the job that resonated with her. We are looking for a club ambassador chair, and we are looking for a club open house chair. I was an open house chair for 1 year. I loved that position. It was so much fun. Now here's the kicker, and here's the area where things are going to be made easier for the club coach ambassador chairs. 9, count them 9, and I've already plugged some names into these 9 division liaisons in the area of club excellence. These folks in the first 3 months will visit every club in their particular division, get on their agenda, and talk about what's a club coach, what's a club ambassador, why are they important, and who here in this meeting would like to put your name on the list so that when we need one of these folks, we can call you and you can then step up to fill one of these roles. This is the Club Excellence Team, focused on making our clubs better and honing in on the details of what that takes, from club roles at the individual meetings, meeting structure, club success plan. All of these things are going to be focused on this team. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. I know it's there. I can see it on my screen. Next slide. There we go. The club extension chair. This is the new club, growing new clubs. This is so important for our district because clubs come and go, unfortunately. And while we're going to have our club excellence team do everything they can to leave no club behind, we still need to focus on starting new clubs and spreading the word. And this team is also being divvied up a little bit differently. We have a corporate club chair, Cynthia Ye. Her job is to cold call corporations and talk to them about the advantages of Toastmasters and talking to them about, would you like a Toastmasters club within your company? That's the purpose of that position. And then she'll work with them toward doing a kickoff meeting. Back now to the club extension chair, who will set up those kickoff meetings. So the club extension chair will work with the corporate club chair to set those kickoff meetings up and get them going. Then we have the community club chair. Similarly, they are going to be focused on helping individual Toastmasters kick off new clubs in the community. And you see it right there at the bottom, 9 more division corporate community club liaisons. So that's 2 per division. This liaison will do a similar thing. They'll visit each of their clubs within their division the first 3 months of the year, and they'll talk about the importance of starting new clubs. But more than that, they'll brainstorm with the members of those individual clubs, and they'll plant seeds of possible clubs that might be chartered during this coming year. And these liaisons, as they are collecting leads, will funnel those leads back to the community club chair and the corporate club chair so that they can reach out and take action to get those startup meetings going, kickoff meetings, same difference. That's this team. So we have essentially 3 teams. We have our publicity resource team, we have our club excellence team, and we have our new growth team. Next slide, please. So please contact Sally Philbin as a first brush or call me. There's my number. I'm even putting it on the screen. Call me and we will get going on moving our clubs to excellence and starting new clubs. Back to you, Carolyn.
Thank you so much, Sally. And what I want everyone to know is that we will be breaking the paradigm. It takes a village is a term that of art now. And Sally is really demonstrating that through the planned activities that she has for being club growth director. I call it crazy genius because she's saying, I'm going to engage Toastmasters that are already here to do what we want to have done. So I know that we're going to be successful in that. I also have in mind that we began to adopt pathways more and more. It's very important to me that we have our area directors and our division directors well-trained, and I have a plan. I have a plan for them. I want to make sure that every one of our area and division directors have what I call an individual development plan. What does that look like? For me, it's 3 things. It means that first and foremost, I want you to identify your 1-day off from Toastmasters. Put it on your calendar now. You do not do Toastmasters that day. You can do anything else that you choose, but you have some self-care and wellness for yourself built in around Toastmasters. The second thing I'd like for you to do is to make sure you participate in the training, because we want to set you up for success. And the third thing I would like for you to do is practice what we preach, practice what we teach, walk the walk. In other words, if you are asking new club members or new guests to join a club, then we're also asking those individuals to start doing the projects under Pathways. What I'm asking of everyone to do is to adopt Pathways, get into a program, and start earning your levels. We're here to build leaders. We're here to make communicators. And all of that is right here before us. We're walking the talk, and we want you to come right along with us. All right, Ed, is there anything else that you would like to share before we go to questions?
I don't think so. Thank you.
Okay.
Wasn't Bill going to have some words for you?
Yes, I think he has. Doesn't he have slides?
Yes, I have some slides.
Excellent.
There you
Bill.
Well, good morning, everyone. And it is my pleasure to give you an update on what's going on with TLI, Toastmasters Leadership Institute. And I'm very pleased and honored to be your TLI Dean for this next year. Next slide, please. It's that time again. It's TLI time. And I would really like for you to help me spread the word to your clubs. Get the word out. The date is July 16th, and the time is from 9 to 1. 4 awesome hours of training. But I want to just say, it's not just a matter of the perfunctory checking off my point in DCP. Oh gosh, I got to show up to get the point. That's not what this training is about. The training is about learning how to become better leaders, how to run your clubs, how to learn some masterclass techniques. So we've got a lot of things in store for our training this year, and I'm very excited to bring that to you. But I need your help. Let's get the word out and let them know about what we're doing about this specific training. One of the things that we want to tell you is that we've got some excellent trainers in mind, and we're looking to bring out some new trainers, but we already have some existing trainers, and we're going to be growing that. Also, we're going to have some electives, exciting electives. We're still working on a couple of the details about those electives, but also, as we're saying, some master classes on some very selected topics. Things about how to build clubs, how to galvanize your clubs, specifically in this trying times of COVID, and we're all on Zoom, etc. So we've got some great topics in store that we're working on. Next slide, please. Here's our preliminary agenda. So we're going to be starting off with some opening remarks. I have a couple of great speakers in mind for our keynote, some awesome speakers. We're just working on confirming them. And then we're going to have the basic training, as we know, for the different officer roles. And then next we're going to have, as we said, some special electives on some key topics in which to how to grow your clubs, how to work with your club ambassadors, how to work with your club coaches. Again, some special electives on leadership and some other awesome topics. Again, we're still focusing on those. And then we're going to have some additional round of training. Suppose you can't make the first round of training in that first section. You'll be allowed to attend that second section. So we're going to do a little flexibility into the building and flexibility into the agenda, which is going to be great because we all are very busy and flexibility is always great for everybody. And then we're going to have some master classes, as we said. We're going to have master classes on some selected topics. Now, when we think of master classes, we think of folks like Ashley Harkness and some other key leaders in our organization who've given us some great master classes. So we're reaching out to some key people to offer some master classes on selected topics, and we know we're going to be offering some great information to everyone. And then finally, some closing remarks. Next slide, please. But it takes a team. So teamwork is for success. So what we're doing is we want to confirm our roles, and we've got some key leaders already identified, but we're looking for some additional leaders to step up and to be trainers, step up and be some trainers. I've been reaching out over the last week, and we have at least 4 or 5 now of the, I'm looking at my notes here, 5 of the 7 officers that we are looking for the trainings, but we still need room monitors who will act also as the tech hosts, dual role. So there'll be a tech host / room monitor for each one of the breakout rooms. So we're looking for, as I said, we're looking for room monitors and a couple of additional club officer trainings. And also we're looking for elective training. So if we have somebody that says, you know, I've got a great topic we'd like to bring for TLI, please reach out to me. Let me know if you've got a great idea for an elective or a master class. We've got some ideas, but again, as we said, it takes a village. It takes a village. If you've got an awesome idea, approach me. I'm very open, and it's not about me. It's about the district. How do we up-level everyone? So if you've got some great ideas, I'd love to hear them, and let's partner together and let's figure out ways in which we all can learn. We can all rise up to improve our trainings across the district. Again, please get the word out July 16th and tell your clubs and work through your area directors and division directors to let them know about the upcoming training. Again, July 16th from 9 to 1 p.m. Back over to you, George. Unless there's any questions.
It's
Carolyn.
Carolyn's still in charge here. Go ahead.
All right. Thank you so much, Bill, for that wonderful explanation of what we can expect for the upcoming TLI. I'd like to open the session up for, if we have time, are there any questions?
Carolyn, this is Subhash.
Uh-huh.
This spring conference, some sessions I missed. Are the recordings going to be available anytime on the website?
The recordings are there. We need to get them on the website. I personally have not been able to put them up because they should be compliant for ADA. Therefore, we need someone who knows how to do that and what that requirement is to place them up. I was about to say Vance, but David has collected all of the recordings. So we do have all of the recordings.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. I don't see any other questions.
Carolyn?
Yeah.
Quick question. This may be more so for Ed. For officer training coming up this year, will any of that be asynchronous? Meaning that could you just put out a training video and people can look at it at their own time, or will we have training that people have to attend according to D57 schedule?
I'm going to jump in on that one. Tyree, you
Yeah,
know
please.
perfectly well, Toastmasters will not allow us to do that for credit. Now, whether they can post them just for people's information, that might be a good thing, but that's not under our control.
And thank you, George. Someone needs to fill out the attendance sheet to get counted. And that is, as George said, beyond our control. Otherwise, you know, we could just put the dashes everywhere, except where's the integrity there? Part of the thing, people are going to come to training and they're going to enjoy training and they're going to get a lot out of it. I can't control what they get out of a static video. Anyway, but George answered it better than I did, but no, the answer to your asynchronous question is no. And Deborah has a question.
So do we sign up for the TLI through HUVA this year? Is that how it works? No?
Actually, we're going to have a meeting on Tuesday to really discuss our continuing use of HUVA and how we will use it. We know it's a really good platform. And quite frankly, what Bill proposed seemed like it could be a wonderful fit for the use of HUVA.
I could agree, Carolyn. I think that HUVA was a hit when we had our last conference. There's a lot of advantages of Hoover over just plain old vanilla Zoom. Zoom bombing and managing the logistics of the training. So we're definitely looking towards Hoover. And as Carolyn said, we're going to have an executive meeting on Tuesday to decide it, but it looks like we're going to be using Hoover.
Okay, and do we know when the officer trainings are yet? Are they set up yet, the office, the makeup? The makeup trainings?
You talking about makeup trainings by the division directors?
Yeah.
No, I don't know when that is, because that's, I guess, when does that start, Carolyn? When do we start makeup trainings?
We
After the
will
first training.
discuss that on Tuesday, because you should have some schedule at, for people to look to. Okay, I would like to just say this, hopefully it'll address more of this. We really want to allow ourselves to be in harmony with District 4, District 101, because we want to give our Toastmasters the opportunity to look at the schedules and say when they can participate in club officer training. We want all of our club officers to get trained. So if we have District 4 and District 101s and also District 39s training times, then we can provide a plethora of opportunities in addition to the 3 club officer trainings that we want to do within our own district. What I know has been a success with these club officer trainings, makeup trainings, we have people from other districts that are tapping into what we do, and they like our trainings. They love them very well. So we are trying to be open to that, not close it down, but to be more open.
I like it.
Maureen.
Yes, I do have a question, and I had sent an email to you, the old and the new trio, right before you met on Tuesday. We had a question about the district Zoom accounts. How long will they be available? Because I know the year end is June 30th, but we had some issues getting that Zoom account set up. It was closer to September. So for clubs that haven't gotten their own Zoom accounts yet, how long do they have?
We are due to renew those accounts July the 7th.
And will you be renewing those accounts? Because we had said last year we would not be doing that.
I believe we actually will.
And is that a Tuesday discussion too?
That's a budget discussion.
Well,
and
the reason
we have to get our budget in, I believe, in September, but we understand just how important the accounts are. We really do.
And
I would love to see, I would love to see clubs that have, I saw some clubs with some mega district bucks. If they want to purchase their own account, they have the ability to do that. But the point is, we will be getting some of those Zoom accounts. Yes.
Okay, that was my question. Thank you so much, Carolyn.
You're welcome. Any other questions? Well, George, I'm going to punt back to you.
All right, fantastic. Let me just say one more thing on the Zoom accounts. I don't know where this rumor floats around. We have never said we would not provide Zoom accounts next year. What we did say, and I think your hearing is absolutely true, is it is a year-by-year decision because one district team has no power to obligate next year's team's budget, right? It doesn't matter what my opinions are about Zoom, and I think they're working very well for most people. I can't tell Carolyn and her team what she ought to spend money on. But I think Carolyn is kind of telling you what her thoughts are. So let's go forward with that. All right. I have one more little section before we go off. And that is, I want to give our district directors, you hardworking folks, an opportunity to just make a brief statement about the year, your year. So here's the idea. 1 minute. We're on the honor system because I forgot to appoint a timer. Your impressions. Good stuff, bad stuff, and different stuff. If your idea of giving your impressions is to rip and chew out someone, you're just damaging yourself. Please don't do that. But highlights, lowlights, advice to the incoming division directors, anything you want to. So once again, we're going to go on alphabetical order. Division A, Teresa.
Good morning, everyone. Somehow I knew you were going to start with Division A. My impression for this year, well, I'll tell you that I had 3 amazing area directors, which honestly made my job pretty easy in terms of supporting the clubs. They had a lot of questions for me. Those that I could answer, I did. Those that I didn't know, I reached out to the trio and they were quite helpful, as well as finance manager and all the other supporting roles. So I think that continuing to add more supporting roles for next year is a great idea. And Sally, you're well on your way to setting a precedent for everyone, I think. In terms of lowlights, I didn't really have any other than a personal matter that I was dealing with. And so I will just say that being able to come to Toastmasters and be in these kind of environments, either with all of you or with fellow division directors, or even just at the club level, it's always a nice supportive environment. And that's what I really do love about Toastmasters and this group. So anyone that's incoming, I just recommend continue to be as engaged with the group as you can. The more you're involved, the more meetings you go to. Even on Saturday mornings, it's sometimes hard to get up, but I encourage you to come because there's so much information. And my impression was I loved being a division director. I will do it again sometime, but not this year. Thank you, George.
Thank you, Teresa. This is the most unusual red flag I've come up with. It's actually a hotbed. All right. Division B, Joanne, tell us about your year.
My year as Division B director was very interesting. We started out with 4 area directors, and then of course, well, I didn't start out with 4. Actually, I had to fill roles. And I do want to reach out and say thank you so much, George, because you were instrumental in helping me get one of those roles filled. And he turned out to be an absolute gem, and that was Sal Tula. Also have Dwayne Leem, who is here today, and he is replacing me as the incoming Division B director. And he is just awesome. I've had to replace 3 area directors during this year. It was challenging. I did lose one. So consequently, I ended up serving not just as division director, but also as area director. So I can't tell you what that was like during contest season, but I guess you can probably imagine. But the thing about Toastmasters that I really like is that there are so many people here that are so supportive. And I just really appreciate everything that I experienced during the year, all the folks that came and chipped in and helped out. It was just, it was a great experience overall. I wish all the incoming officers the very best. And that's pretty much all I have to say.
Thank you, Joanne. Moving right along, Division C. This is a giant mystery, isn't it? Elliot Rogers.
Hi, good afternoon. Good morning, actually, still. Yeah, I need more coffee. I say that Division C, we had 2 area directors all year. C24, which is North Marin and Southern Sonoma. I did not have a consistent area director, and we also had problems. I would fill in if I could go to 12 o'clock meetings. Two of the 4 clubs meet at 12 o'clock in the middle of the day. So we did have some problems. I think one of the questions I have and that I had all year is obviously when we fill people because we're over Zoom, is when we have people that come from other areas, like that is great that people can do that, but it also creates some problems. And so my goal, and thank God Meredith Maresh for next year stepped up to be C24. She's a homegrown person from the area. And I think it's really important, even though we're still meeting over Zoom, that when you have people, I had someone assigned to me from Nigeria, which was great, but then no one knew who he was, and communication, and corporate clubs have their own culture that's a little different than, so obviously I had some issues with C24. My other two C9, C8 people, Dan Reiken's here today from C8, amazing, constant contact, regular phone calls. I think I almost crashed on a bridge once talking to Andy Rader for a half an hour, like things like that. Like, I love talking to those guys. We hit it off really well. A lot of good communication. All the clubs stepped up. We had one club in C9 that took on sort of ambassador coaching elements. A couple of people are here that went to that one of their meetings. I think we had overall pretty good success in the two areas that had area directors. So I know that Joanne, I talked to Joanne here and there quite often. I know that she basically was an area director and a division director at the same time. And if I could go to 12 o'clock meetings, I would have done the same as her. And so I have to look up to the people that have that ability to do that type of work. Anyway, otherwise it was great. One thing I will also say, division directors, I didn't realize this. It's not a sit back job, right? It's like we're sort of the foot soldiers. I know, Ed. We're sort of the foot soldiers for the district. And it was great working on TLI makeups. And so get ready, new division directors. TLI makeups are coming your way because you're going to be that person who's taking that role. Anyway, thank you.
Thank you, Elliot. Reminder, it is 1 minute is the amount of time allocated. Tom, you're up.
All right, thank you. So as a division director this year, I really enjoy working with my team. I'm so lucky to have a great team, my 5 area directors who did all the jobs, club visit reports, and work with their clubs. And also I have Michelle Padacolas to help me put together the makeup training. So that made the job so much easier. And also I have Maureen Fuller and Sincere Stott that we work as an open house committee. We put together 8 workshops this year to help our clubs with various issues or areas for them to improve their club quality. So I had so much fun. The thing I learned is to not take everything on yourself and get great team members and you enjoy it. Another thing I have for the low part of it, sometimes I get stressed out, but I don't blame Toastmasters for all my division director responsibilities for that. I need to learn to manage my time more efficiently, do not procrastinate. So I also grow personally as a division director this year. All right, back to you. Thanks, George.
Thank you, Tom. Winnie had to leave early for another meeting. I wonder if it was a Toastmaster meeting, but she gave me a statement to read. What Winnie said was, during the year as Division F Director, I learned to be a better leader. I learned to plan projects as scheduled, to motivate others, and to listen to others' concerns. Lastly, attending the DECM meetings was a great learning experience for me. Thank you so much for a great learning year. And thank you to Winnie. Let's go on to Division G. This is going to be a surprise. Does anyone know who that is? Mark Salcedo.
Thank you, George. So when I was asked to be Division G director a little over a year ago, I had 3 goals. One was to meet new people. And I now feel I have a strong network of Toastmaster leaders across the district, which is great. My 2 counterparts in the TLI makeups, I have to shout out Lisa Ash and Teresa Smith. They helped me get started on this division director leadership role. And my second goal was to develop new leaders. I have 2 area directors that are going to be division directors next year, which I'm super proud of. The third one wanted to compete. They have that competitive gene, so they want to be in the contest next year. Otherwise, they would have been a great division director also. And the final goal was obviously serving the members of District 57 and Division G. So I just want to say thank you and express my gratitude for being able to serve. Thank you, George.
Thank you, Mark. As some of you know, we lost our Division E director during the year, and Lindy has offered to step in and speak on behalf of Division E. Go ahead, Lindy.
Thank you. Excuse me. I've done this role twice, Division E director, so I know a little bit about it. I just want to recommend to all the incoming division directors, get your team together early. I would suggest doing it in person at a restaurant, have dinner together, get to know each other, feel comfortable with each other. It really makes a great difference if you can do that at the beginning of your year. That's really all I wanted to say. Thanks, George.
Thank you, Lindy. All right, and I bet no one can guess what letter is coming next. Division H, Lisa Ash, you have the floor.
Thank you, George. Well, as most of you Toastmasters know, whatever role you take in leadership, you learn more and more skills along your path. And this year was no exception for me as a Division H director. And I'm telling you, I've always been a pretty good planner, but having been responsible for my area directors knowing what they needed to know so they could tell their clubs, you really need to back up and make sure they have plenty of advance notice so they can do their job correctly. So I learned a lot more about planning in advance. Communication. My area directors, I had 4 of them, and they're all very busy women. And I had to open up my way I communicate with them. Some preferred text messaging, some preferred phone calls, emails. So I had to meet them where they were on their preferred communication, which was a good thing to do, just like at work. And then finally, the routine tasks they come every year, but I constantly had to remind and put in my emails or my information of why we're doing it, the why. So I appreciate working with all of you and meeting more new Toastmasters. Back over to you, George.
Thank you, Lisa. And the very last one, my home division, Division I, Sherry Sue. Take it away, Sherry.
Thanks, George. And I want to say, I just want to say that at least my area directors, Rick and Gwen and Gangabir, they didn't quit. They stuck it in with being area directors for the entire year. And I have to share with you that Lindy is correct when she says select your team. And I was able to select 2 of the 3 area directors. And I'm very happy that they worked out fantastic. They did their positions. They understood what their tasks and their deadlines were. So I'm very, very happy to work with them, as well as working with other division directors, especially with the makeup trainings. And that would be Winnie and Joanne. The other thing I think I just really more learned is that Toastmaster International Headquarters has a lot of rules. And so they may not be rules that I quite understand or agree upon. And I wish I could change them, especially for the clubs. But again, you know, as I've learned is that clubs do need a lot of support. And this is something that is needed. So with the incoming division director, Venkat Raman, I just continue to support each and every one of your area directors, and that your area directors will support you and as well as reach out. Back to you, George.
Thank you, Sherry. So you've heard from all the division directors, and people issues came up, coordination issues, communication issues came up. Each division director is actually in charge of their division. There's some districts around the world where a division is a country. They even hold district conferences because they really are. The district team really does have to empower them to run a lot of things within their area. Here, we're geographic local, you get more support, but really, and I'm talking to you incoming division directors, it really is, you've got a lot of responsibilities. You notice that Sally, for example, talked about liaising to you. She didn't tell you to come liaise with her. She's going to send someone out to you. No, Elliot, not a fiefdom. Although I've heard some terrible things about some districts. I've got one more thing I want to share with you, and then we're going to break off into division groups. Committee chair recognition. You've seen our three faces a lot, but I think we all know by now, and we've all emphasized that a lot of the real work that goes on to serve the district, and that's what we're all doing, is serving the district, comes from our committee chairs. So I just want to briefly recognize folks that have helped us in big ways this year. So Ashley Harkness, trained the trainer, and is on the committee for the year-end celebration, which is July 30. Everyone, right now, write down July 30, end of the year celebration and officer installation. It's on the calendar, and we'll have more details coming, including registration. Bette Volhofer's District Leadership Committee did a perfect job of producing a candidate for each division. Awesome. Bill Holsey, Club Ambassador. Wow, thanks, Bill. David Dye, I call him the Zoom czar. He's responsible for scheduling and rescheduling club sessions, allocating the new Zoom sessions for various district purposes, did a fantastic job. Hans Thoma, Chief Judge, can you believe he came back and served again? Yay, really dedicated. Chris Chocklingham Awards, thank you, Chris. Chris kind of was a late sign up. Thank you a lot for stepping up to the job. Lindy Sinclair, open houses. I think you're getting the idea. Open houses are actually kind of fun. Both Sally and Lindy have said that. Someone step up to that one, okay? Mark Salcedo, contest chair. Mercedes Del Rosio, HPL and DTM chair. People have so many questions about these things, so it's great to have someone dedicated to help with those. Randy Ellington, credentials, the man that told us that we had a quorum for the business meeting and worked very, very hard, put in hours and hours and hours to make that happen. It's always a challenge. It's even harder to be done online. Sally Philbin, yay, Sally, Club Extension Chair, even though she'd rather rename it to something else, I think. Shalini, YLP and Gavel Clubs. Thank you so much, Shalini. Tong Yang, Spring Conference Chair. Didn't that conference go well? Tyree Johnson, realignment. Thank you, Tyree. I know at times you thought it was a pretty challenging job, but you did a fantastic job coming through for us. Thank you so much, Tyree. And Winglock, the man who made sure the votes worked in the election. One more big hand for everyone. Takes a lot of people to make it run. Thank you all. And one last time, your district executive team for 2021, 2022, almost complete, a few more duties to do. We're not really done until June 30th. And actually, in some cases, we've got duties that extend on beyond that. Tracy Stewart, Administrative Manager. Thank you, Tracy. Michelle Toney, Finance Manager. Thank you, Michelle. Nancy Moscardini, Public Relations Manager. I've been a Public Relations Manager twice. She did a way better job than I ever did. Thank you, Nancy. Ed Cullen, Club Growth Director. Way to go, Ed. Carolyn Douglas, Program Quality Director, probably the hardest working trio member all year. And of course, I served as your district director. These folks put a lot of time into serving you. You'd say, well, you know, they got all the benefits and rewards. They could double our salary and it wouldn't change anything. So I really like that. Let's go on to division breakout. Now here's the goal today, a little bit different. You're no longer coordinating for next year, but we've got, I hope, most of the incoming division directors and the outgoing division directors. What I'm really hoping you can all do is to get together, go into your rooms, separate rooms. I think, Ed, you got them set up?
Yes, it helps.
Okay,
I
good,
can
good,
unmute
thank
myself.
you.
They're all set.
All right, so those of you that can make your way in by yourself, go ahead. Ed can help you with the others. And exchange information, share stories. Division E is challenging. Lindy, I'm hoping you would be willing to go into the Division E group and help out there. Anyone else has been a Division E leader in the past would be great. So this is your chance, not the only one. You can keep on talking, but this is your chance to share directly something about what's going on within that division. Start making plans, find out what happened. Are we all good? We will give you at least 30 minutes, Again, let's be sure the Division E is covered. If you don't have a particular division affiliation, well, everyone does, but no need to go there. This room, the main room, will be open as well, and we can have some informal networking there as well. So thank you, everyone. It's been a fantastic year. I love it. A past district governor asked me the other day, would I do it again? Yes, I would, but not next year, okay? On to you. Okay, everyone, please go on off to your division breakout rooms. And thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, George.
Great job. Thank you.
Trio.
Awesome job.